Hello, hello. Oh, baby! Thank you!
Recording. It's been recording for like 19 seconds. This is a complete. Can I quit this stupid podcast yet?
Well, you can. I got somebody fucking willing to take your place, but I'm like, I don't know.
That's funny. I've got another guy that keeps wanting me to start a podcast with him too.
Oh,
Wants
okay.
me to quit. But I tell you, if I'm gonna do that one, I have to quit this one.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna do that one either.
Okay. Just like you didn't do your religious or not shit, and the other
I did
one.
them. I just never posted them.
Well, post them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, I was telling you how.
Are we recording?
Yes, we're recording. I've been telling you.
Well, you want to let people know what they're listening to?
They're listening to me tell you about going back on fucking quarantine.
Are we going back on quarantine?
Like you're listening to me talk in the Complete and Appropriate podcast, which you can find on the YouTubes and on the Twitters under CI Podcast. No, Completely an app, and on Instagram under CI Podcast.
I believe in you.
Yeah, and you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. So, anyways, what happened? Yeah, that for a while, they've been talking on Twitter about fucking we're going back on fucking quarantine in September, and so then my probation appointment was supposed to be in person, so I can pick up my permission slip and do a piss test. But I got a text saying that it's gonna be over the phone, which immediately, which immediately I thought, oh, they didn't give me the days. But then it occurred to me, I'm like, oh shit, we're halfway through to September, so they might be already starting to phase into quarantine.
I mean, if it's over the phone, is it scheduled? Don't they just like kind of call you randomly?
Well, it's scheduled. Sometimes she calls me. Lately, I've been the one to call her, and last month I forgot. I was 15 minutes late, so she was saying that it's not a big deal. I'm like, okay, because I want to keep a perfect record. So yeah.
All right. Well, hey, I want to clear something up for the listeners.
Okay.
Because I've been complaining that I want to quit this podcast
for 2 years now.
Yeah, but more seriously lately.
Okay.
But I figured out the reason is because we become a fucking pop culture, like current events podcast, and that's never been what I wanted this thing to be. Like, I wanted us to talk more about the emotional state of the peoples and ourselves, and talk about real shit, man.
Okay.
Like, not fucking Disney Plus shows, like fucking Loki for an entire fucking 3 months,
which we never got to.
Yeah, because I was mad that we just kept talking about Loki for 3 months. Like, although the Marvel, what's it? What Marvel mashup? What's it called? The new one that's coming. Anyway, not getting into it because I don't want to talk about that no more.
Okay.
So what I do want to talk about, or what you were mentioning before we started recording, was you have a beef with Christianity again?
No, not again. It's that okay. So.
Still.
No, like this last time I got fucking wasted.
Oh yeah. So have you drank again since then?
Yeah.
Yes, right. You drink one more time, right?
Well, it wasn't one more. They kept handing me fucking beer, and I'm like, this shit gives me gas. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, that I was telling my friend that the reason why I was picking fights with everyone is because I have repressed anger, and so I was digging deep into my soul about what exactly I'm fucking mad about, and there's numerous things.
Yeah.
Right? But the first one that came to mind, or the first one that came to me, was that I have this repressed anger over not so much Christianity in a whole, but that I I've been telling people lately, I don't full-heartedly with faith believe in God. I only believe in God because I was indoctrinated into believing in God.
Right.
And that's what pissed me off, that I was too young to know what I was getting into when I did my first communion. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing when I did my confirmation.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just found out a few years ago. What was it, 2 years ago? I found out because Tim brought it up.
Found out what?
That, you know, when I did my confirmation, I'm like, oh, in English it's called confirmation. And it's me confirming myself to the church that, yes, I am Catholic. And I was too young to make that fucking decision.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm so excited you brought this up because I've talked about this earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, the fucked up part is that my first communion godmother, or maybe my cousin came up with it, was that for a while they were trying to convince me to do my confirmation by saying that if I don't do my confirmation, I can't get married. I'm like, okay, well, I just won't get married. And they're like, no, but they're like, no, like, you're gonna want to get married.
And that's not true. You can't get married through the church. You could still get married.
Yeah.
That's what I found out. Like, we got married through a Baptist preacher. I've never went to I hadn't gone to church in like 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah, so then my first communion godmother, or my cousin, probably came up with,
and I'm Catholic.
The whole idea is
Catholic.
that the way to get me to do my confirmation was that
bribe you with marriage.
No, he was telling me, he's like, hey, so the church is organizing a soccer team. We're gonna play against other churches. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that. I'm down.
That'll be fun.
But the catch is that you have to go to these talks in order to be in the team. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
A sports youth group thing. Like, wait, how old are you again?
I don't know.
They're really stretching the term youth, aren't they?
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, yeah, let's just do that then. And so we did that, and it turns out I was doing my confirmation. Like, I found out. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was fucking pissed, but I couldn't say anything because the adults were saying, it's for your own good. We know what's best for you. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit.
No, then you aren't confirmed because it has to be a choice. You didn't watch Constantine, where he tries to save the demon. He takes the holy water, and the Bible is like, in the name of God, I forgive thee. And he goes to go in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy. Like, wait. And then he gives up the information that Constantine wants. And Constantine just laughs at him and says, you have to ask for repentance, dumbass. Like, essentially, like, you can't just be given it. People can't just choose to forgive you. You have to want to be forgiven, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as your penance,
yeah,
you have to ask for forgiveness and show remorse. No, so I have a very similar story. Is I was going to Catholic school and doing my confirmation classes, and they were doing a class, and I raised my hand. I was like, well, sir, you know, I don't feel like I'm ready to do my confirmation yet. I don't feel convinced that I understand this and at the level that I should to accept my confirmation. And so, like, okay, I understand. We'll talk about it later. And by the end of the class, he's handing out these little cards, these little Saints baseball cards, where it's like the picture of the saint, the name, and then on the back, a little description of what they did and like a little verse, right? And so I'm going to hand these out randomly to you kids, and I want you to take the message to heart, because it's whatever God has placed in your hands, right? That's how he opens up with. Then he gets to me and shuffles through these fucking cards and selects one for me. So it wasn't God placing shit in my hands. It was this guy choosing what I needed to hear. And essentially the card reads, it's not for you to know whether or not you're ready. God will know. Or some shit, like, you know, like, just because you don't think you're ready doesn't mean you're not ready. Like, well, hold on. I just said I'm uncomfortable being confirmed, and you're saying just do it anyway because God knows better and because why? Just because I'm here? Like, so we go, I go through all the classes, and it gets to the point where we go to the big church here in San Juan, and we're there for confirmation. So it's hundreds of kids from different churches there, and all these whatever the fuck they are, all these priests from different locations, and they're confirming everybody. And first, you have to go and give your confession, right? Like that's part of the final scene, the final showdown, is you go to confession, and we're in line, and there's like 100 kids, like 20 people long at every fucking confession stand. And like I'm like 5 people away from going to give confession. I'm like, this is stupid. So I walk out of line and I go sit back down as if I already did. I had already done it, right? And then the next step is, well, you go receive the Eucharist, you the body of Christ and the blood of Christ. And so after you confess, you go get that. So they call for everybody to stand up and go get it, and I stayed sitting there. I was like, well, I didn't confess. I can't do the next step either. You know what I mean? Like it felt weird. And ever since then, I've never taken the Eucharist. I always took it before that. I never took it after that for the subsequent times that I went to church. But so we go through all this. I've skipped the 2 main fucking parts of this goddamn sequence. And I get back, and 2 weeks later, I get my certificate in the mail saying that I was confirmed, even though I didn't do any of the, like, I didn't pray. I didn't do confession. I didn't receive the Eucharist. I am not literally confirmed. Like I'm on paper confirmed. And I believe at some point I told my parents that, and they're like, well, it's on paper, so it's okay. It's like, oh, fuck the soul. As long as the government accepts it, the government that is the church.
Yeah, that paper goes to the Pope, and I found out because I was like, how the fuck do I undo all this? And through my research, I found out that I have to write a letter to the Pope to telling him, asking him to please unconfirm me, and I can list all my reasons why. And
I'm sure this isn't true.
I've been wanting to do that because you have to do that, but
you have to like officially depart, because it doesn't even take that much to like secede your, what's it called when you annex yourself from your own country, where you just like write it on, like I no longer acknowledge myself as a United States citizen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it immediately makes you an expat. Like then you have to, like, I feel like there used to be something like that.
Yeah. So
like if you publicly acknowledge that you no longer represent yourself as an American, then there's like some legal ramifications to that.
Right, but apparently the fucking Pope has a file on everyone that's been confirmed. But yeah, so then I'm like, okay, but if I write the letter, and I write a damn good letter, like,
I don't even think it has to be that good, dude.
What are the odds he's gonna fucking see it? Because I'm sure.
Okay, hold on. You were taking it way too literally. I assure you, it's not the Pope that's handling all of these paper requests. There is a department and people that work underneath the Pope that handle this shit. The Pope doesn't do the Pope is like the Queen or the president. Like, yes, they're the head, but they're not the whole. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes, there's bodies and everything. And, they'll only hand the Pope the letters he needs to personally take care of. Like,
yeah, like if Mariah Carey or Oprah went and sent that letter, maybe that one would reach him. But I assure you, yours would never reach him.
Because what I was going to tell you is that, he gets thousands of fucking letters a day, most of them praising him when they should be praising Jesus. And
so asking him to pray for them.
Yeah. And so I'm sure his group body that takes care of the letters answers those daily. And then one that says, hey, I need you to confirm me. Then they'll give that one to the Pope. But I'm pretty sure with my
I don't think that's how that works, man.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to be.
But I don't think it's as cut and dry. Like it just doesn't make sense logistically. The number of people that are confirmed today, you really think every single one goes through the Pope's hands?
No, I'm saying he's got to fight. Like him, by him, I mean the Vatican. The Vatican has a
Okay,
spy
okay.
on everyone.
Because you very specifically kept saying the Pope, the Pope. Like, well, that's one guy. Like, you're putting a lot on this one guy's shoulders. Like, he can barely carry the hat on his head. He's like 98 years old. How old is he? How old is this Pope? What do we know about this Pope? Do you know anything?
I don't know. That he's from Argentina.
Don't
That's all I
cry
know.
for me, Argentina.
Yeah,
How
that's
was it?
all I know about the Pope. He's from Argentina. That's it.
Well, right on. So,
Oh,
what are you going to do about it? So, are you
He
going to follow through? Are you going to actually write him a letter?
well, yes. Like I've been meaning to and wanting to, but like there's that thing that's holding me back. I'm like, what are the fucking odds that he's gonna see it and be like, yes, I'll unconfirm.
Well, I mean, what are the fucking odds that it matters anyway?
Well, no,
Like, what is
because
your what does it matter to you so much for to put it on paper? Because, like you say, as far as marriage goes, like if I choose to be with someone, I'll just be with them. I don't need a paper telling me like. So, what do you need a paper telling other people what your beliefs are? Like, it's your beliefs, man. Like, nobody could tell, regardless of what somebody else thinks about your relationship with God or whatever you want to call that part of your life. Like, whatever anybody else thinks about your relationship with them, it doesn't matter. It compared to what your relationship actually is with them. Like Rihanna and Chris Brown. Like, just because Chris Brown beat the shit out of her and we saw that part of their life didn't mean they didn't belong together. Look how in love they are. Were I don't know anything about their relationship. I'm just saying God beats the shit out of us and we still choose to love him for some reason. Or her, or it, or nature.
yeah, no,
or
the
Gaia.
whole thing about like wanting to write that letter to the Pope to unconfirm me is because I don't want somebody to be like, nope, you're Catholic. Look, see, you were confirmed.
Okay, well, you understand the easiest way to do it is to just put it in like a will, like or a form, like a manifesto. You can write your own like 1-page manifesto of your beliefs and religion, like just a little mini bio of yourself. Like as long as it's written by you, confirmed by you, like who's anybody to argue it?
Yes, but what's confirmed by me as opposed to like in comparison to
I assure
confirmed
you,
by
most people
God?
care more about what you say today about yourself rather than what the Pope thinks about you from 15, 30 years ago, however old you were when you got confirmed.
Yeah, no. Don't make me think. I'm like, shit, how
Don't,
fucking
don't,
long
don't
ago
do the
was that?
math. It'll break us
I'm
both.
like, no. No. I think it was no, I'm not gonna think about it. But no, yeah, that's the thing. Like what's my word against God's word? And I'm like, okay, well, what fucking like what makes you so sure that there even is a God, you know? To
What makes you think we're not God?
well, yeah, you know, the possibilities are endless. So
Well, that's the Buddha. That's the Buddhist. I've been okay. I've been reading this book by Alan Watts. It's not a book actually. Since I got it on Audible, it's his lecture series. It's like Alan Watts basically was a big part of bringing Buddhism to North America, to like this side of the world, and he speaks extensively on the fact that we personify this God. We put God on a pedestal, but everything we've read about him and everything we're told about him is that, well, we have the power to be like God, right? Every text has somewhere in it written that we are to either do our best to act like him, or we're literally made in the image and likeness of him, or there a piece of God is in us. So the the most logical conclusion to all of these religions, what they're all saying is that we are God. Like you think of it like, and we've talked about this before, that movie, The Nines, right? Or the nine or nine with Ryan Reynolds, where he's living in this world and the other gods, the other nines of the universe have to come down and say, hey, you made this world and you fell so much in love with it. You wanted to be a part of it. You became human. And now you've forgotten that you are a God, that you literally create and destroy. Like you have the power to make this life whatever you want of it. You have the power to leave this life and extend yourself up into the heavens at any time you want, but you've forgotten because you've been human for so long. Now, what if that's the case? What if the Big Bang Theory was God just personifying himself into a world and a people? Oh, I saw someone walk by. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
Did
then,
God just enter your home?
uh-huh. So then, yeah, when I bring that up, that like we have the potential to become our own gods, like we are God.
Or it's not
Like
even the potential. We
I
are a God, right? So
yeah,
we have the potential to remember that.
I always get the response that no, you cannot be God because you are not perfect.
Well,
You
neither.
have
Okay, hold on, son. In what part of the Bible does it say God is perfect?
apparently it's all over the
It
Bible.
says
God
he's
is perfect.
divine. He's
Yeah.
omniscient.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't make you perfect. Like, if he was perfect, don't you think he would have set it up to where his son, saved humanity without having to be murdered horrifically?
Well, that's because Yahweh
Oh,
is
yeah, exactly.
bloodthirsty.
There's always,
Yeah.
that's because.
No, that's
Well,
because
how
Yahweh
come?
is bloodthirsty. Look at how many fucking people he killed in fucking both
Okay, then
fucking
why? So then
testaments.
why is it so imperfect for us to murder each other? Why is that against the command? If we're supposed to be made in the image and likeness of God, and God is like out there killing everybody, then why can't we, like God, be like God and kill everybody? You know what I mean? Like,
Because
there's a
God
lot of,
doesn't want us to kill each other. It's only
but
for him.
but he didn't say that. That came down from a dude with rocks from a mountain that got high on the acacia tree, the burning bush. Like, there's explanation. But that's just because, like, well, it's just because the dude was fucking high and thought he talked to God, and somebody wrote it down. Like, we don't know. Like, we all are putting our trust in a fucking group of fucking priests from fucking whenever the fuck BC or AC or whatever the fuck the timeline is. Constantine and his fucking generals of priests.
No. Yeah.
No, it's priests.
Okay.
Not the movie Constantine, the actual Constantine. Anyway.
Yeah. Constantine and his merry men.
But this is, it's so annoying though, because then you have older religions like Hinduism that make at least a modicum more bit of sense. Like, I'm more inclined to believe that there are multiple gods, just like there's multiple human beings. Like, if we're made in the image and likeness of God and there's billions of us, then maybe there are billions of gods, right? What if we each live with our own individual God? What if what we called angels, oh, we have a guardian angel? Like, no, you have your own God. Like, that's guiding your life. Like, we're just these avatars. We're these fucking beings that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we avatars? Is that why we had Avatar syndrome when that movie came out? Well, life isn't as pretty as Avatar. I'm depressed and need to kill myself because I can't live in Avatar land. Like, bitch, you are an avatar. You want to live in Avatar land? Quit your job, sell all your stuff, go live in the rainforest. See how fucking fun that is. Because that's what they did in Avatar. They made it look real pretty. Our world is real pretty too, until it starts to rain and thunder and war around us, just like in Avatar. It was the exact same goddamn thing. But nobody appreciates the world we have. Everybody wants a better world. But nobody wants to do the work. Fucking plant a tree outside, motherfucker. That's the closest you're going to be to a fucking Avatar.
Yeah.
Make your own world tree.
So anyways, that's that.
What, you disagree?
End. Like,
that's that from your end.
Yeah. Like, that's my sister was suggesting to have religious trauma, but I'm like, I don't think it's religious trauma. I think it's just, I'm mad that I got tricked into fucking Catholicism and I was indoctrinated into Christianity. And, like, I can't full-heartedly like follow that religion because I don't full-heartedly believe in that religion. It's just it was instilled in me. It was burned in me,
Yeah, man. See, I've been having joke because I went from not believing in God to believing in love and kindness, right? Like, that's the doctrine I want to follow. Like, I want to teach my kid to just love and be kind. But man, I'm finally becoming jaded, and I've always told myself, no matter what, don't be jaded. Just still believe in love and kindness. But then I realized that I'm just fucking indoctrinating myself into a whole different fucking religion, Whereas just you think that being kind and loving everybody is what matters in the world, but it's used against you so often.
Yeah.
Like I found myself yesterday, we were at a barbecue and I had to interact with a couple people that I had never met before. And I always get uncomfortable around people because I know how it goes. Like people don't understand, like I don't suffer fools. So when these guys are sitting there talking about like going to strip clubs, and he bought like this one dude bought $150 worth of scratch offs and got like $80 back or whatever. And you're like, well, whatever I lose, I would have spent at the strip club anyway, and whatever I get back, I'm going to the strip club with anyway. I was like, well, you're just a fucking idiot. Like just because you have the money, like I never understood gambling. You know, gambling is a real stupid thing to me. Like, but to do it in certain, like, it just doesn't make sense, you know? And when I couldn't relate and I didn't seem excited about it with him, he ended up calling me out on it and saying, well, you shouldn't judge people without judging yourself first. I was like, dude, I don't even know you. Like, who the fuck? Like, you don't know what I didn't say anything to this guy, but it was just such an uncomfortable situation. And I kept playing it off like, well, you know, I've got to be kind, like just try and hear this guy out. Maybe I said something wrong. And in the end, it ended up being because he was one of the guys that wanted to start a podcast with this other guy. And they were talking to me about it. And like, well, yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years. And they get all excited about it, just like we were at the beginning. And like, oh, yeah, dude, all we need to do is talk about mental health and all this stuff. And everybody wants to hear about that. Like, yeah, but you need a following, guys. And I was just like trying to be realistic with him. Like, hey, don't get your hopes up. It's not as easy just to start a podcast and all of a sudden you got 100 downloads a day. Like, but he seemed to think that I was judging him for it. And you could tell the guy had some sensitivity issues, like like I guess what we all have at times where we just feel like we're not being heard enough. But this guy spent so much time like trying to call me out on being not even being offensive, just like being judgmental when I was just speaking facts from my experience. And I was just trying to be kind. And I got home and I was upset. Like I was shaking. I was so upset just because I felt like, why was I so nice to him? Like I should have stood up for myself and said, hey man, you don't fucking know me. You don't know my experience doing this stuff. Like I'm telling you, because like you're going to a fucking professional football player and telling him how to fucking hike the ball. Like who the fuck are you? Like I was just trying to help you as somebody who's been doing this for a couple of years. You know what I mean? If you don't want to hear it, that's fine, but don't fucking talk to me as it like there's so much I should have said, you know? But I'm so indoctrinated in being kind and don't say things, especially with people you don't know. Don't, you know, put your foot in your mouth. Like try and be kind, try and understand the other person's point of view. I was never taught to defend myself. And now I've faced with the struggle of having a kid on the spectrum who I'm teaching him like, hey, if somebody fucks with you, you punch him in the face. I don't want my kid to be a pushover like I've been my whole life. I don't want my kid to see me being a pushover like he could have seen me yesterday because he was in the other room. He could have come in and seen somebody talking to me like that, like calling me rude for fucking not agreeing with them or whatever, and I didn't say anything. I was so disappointed with myself, man. And it all starts with that indoctrination of that Christian mindset as a kid, like, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to yourself. The golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would yourself. Like it makes no fucking sense. Because I fucking love to jack myself off. Doesn't mean I want to jack you off. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to do unto others as I do to myself. That's filthy. And against the Bible. So which part of the Bible am I supposed to listen to there? Like, so I feel you, man. Like but that was my experience yesterday with that same exact thought. Like, it's not fair to be taught in a way. And then the worst part of it is that I was taught to be kind and taught to not raise my voice and all this shit by people that fucking are not kind and raise their voice. Like it's always do as I say, not as I do, including God, including in the Bible. It's like, be just like God. Oh, except for when he's an asshole. Then you're not allowed to be that kind of God. It's like, but you can do all the good stuff God did. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just another parent telling you do as I say, not as I do. It's illogical. It's just not a natural state of being, and you can't. It's not natural. Nothing of today is natural. It's weird. There's my rant now. Sorry,
No, yeah, that's
asshole.
no,
Sitting
no,
saying nothing the whole time.
no, because I'm letting you fucking rant, and I thought I had more to say, but I was like, no, that's it. Like
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
you were done in
nutshell.
15 minutes, and then you had left the rest of the episode for me to fill.
No, because I was like, wow,
Ridiculous.
that's the nutshell. Because I don't know. Like I feel like I have so much more to say, but like no, that's it. Like that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. Like I'm fucking pissed that I was forced into something I was too young to fucking believe in, let alone fucking understand.
Well, and see what fucking pisses me off. If you want to talk about what actually pisses me off, it's not the fact that people believe what they believe. It's that they believe the bad too. Like I just don't get it. Like, are we supposed to love, but only sometimes? Like, because God is love, according to all these fucking religions, but then they're allowed to hate you for being a fag, or hate you for being a fucking black guy, or hate you for fucking being a Jew instead of a Hindu, or instead of a Muslim, or instead of a like what the actual fuck? Like,
They
at what
don't
point does love actually mean love?
they don't hate you,
Yes, they
the gay
do.
person, the black Jewish gay person. No, they hate the sin.
They hate the
But that's
belief.
still fucking hate though.
It's just hate. It's just
Yeah.
hate. Like,
So
there's
like
no
why?
acceptance. Like, so that's why this Buddhism has gotten me the closest. But even then, Buddhism isn't really a belief. It's just like an acceptance. It's nihilism. I'm telling you, it is just nihilism. It's just believe nothing matters. Nothing at all fucking matters. Whatever happens, just fucking happens. There's nothing meant by it. There's no all-knowing God that's putting this shit in order. It's just a sequence of events. It's just dominoes that have been stacked since the beginning of time that we have no control over other than our attitude towards it and our mental capacity for it.
Yeah, somebody commented on one of Kim's posts talking about how all religion kills
Culture.
and it's all fucking stupid, whatever the fuck. And then somebody tried defending Kim's point of religion, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
And then
no,
and then
they're a
that
little,
person
they're a
that
little
person replied
overzealous for
with
myself too.
well, Buddhism isn't a religion, it's the practice of kindness. And she was like,
That's not true
Buddhism
either.
is a religion.
Well,
Like,
no, it's not. I mean, but it's as much a religion as nihilism, as pessimism, as optimism. It's a state of thinking. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
the same.
that's all religion is. Like every
No,
religion
no,
is.
no, 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 no. Religion has rules and guidelines to follow. Buddhism isn't telling you to fucking follow or do a goddamn thing. Real Buddhists don't tell you you need to meditate for 2 hours. Real Buddhists don't tell you you need to go do yoga. Real Buddhists don't, like, at least Zen Buddhism, if you're talking about Zen Buddhism in particular, all you're talking about is existing and just accepting the existence. There's no other rule. There's no be kind. There's a proverb, a Buddhist proverb where the student goes to the Buddha and says, Buddha, I have killed a man. I have sinned irrevocably. How can I be forgiven? How can I make amends for this? What can I do? He's like, well, wait, what was your sin? Like, well, I killed a man. Like, right, but that's still a mortal. That's still a human sin. That's a regular sin. What is your real sin? I'm like, well, what do you mean? I've taken a life. I stopped uh, another person's dharma. Like, right, but these things happen every day. Like, this is a natural state of being. The cat kills the mouse. The dog kills the cat. The coyotes kill the dog. The moose protects itself and kills it continues. This is life. So where is your sin? Well, forgive me, Buddha. I don't understand. I don't know. It's like, I can't know. I'm not God. There is your sin. You stopped believing you were God. That's our only sin.
So
is we
my
stop
religion,
respecting and loving ourselves, and the fact that not only are you God, but that person you killed was also God. If we are all God, and you did nothing more than cut yourself. You've killed yourself. And Buddhism isn't Christianity. It's not suicide. Isn't a sin. It's just a state of being. They say so. Buddha, this man killed himself. What's to happen to him? Like he will continue on as everyone else. Like he will be reincarnated, whatever that proverb was, but the point is there is no sin unless somebody tells you it's a sin.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's just existence.
my religion doesn't have sin, doesn't have rules, doesn't have.
Well, it does have rules because to die a proper death is to die in war, right?
No.
Like, there's still some sort of belief structure to Norse religions as well.
Well, there's
there?
a belief to Buddhism too, like you believe human nature, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck.
No. Be specific, because I'm being
Oh
specific.
yes, because like that what you brought up, the whole, well, this is human nature, fucking, the your sin was you stopped believing, the key term, that's still a belief.
Right, but there's no end goal like to get to heaven or to get to Valhalla.
Isn't
Like there's
the end
no
goal to reach nirvana?
right, but nirvana isn't a place; it's a state of mind, and it's not a goal. The idea, like I'm in nirvana now. The point isn't to okay. This is a difference. You're not going to nirvana; you're realizing nirvana, which means nirvana has been with you since the day you were thought of to be conceived. Ever since you were just a thought in reality, you were a part of nirvana. You are nirvana. It all goes back to God. Everything is God. Everything is the same. We are in heaven right now. It's only when God raises you up in your mind that you realize we've been in heaven and you can choose to just be happy. But Buddhism negates that by saying, well, nirvana isn't the realization of happiness, and nirvana isn't the realization that everything is suffering or everything is perfect. Nirvana is just recognizing the fact that everything is. And that's not a belief, it's just a fact. Like, are you a thing? Are we? Am I? And that's the only question. Am I? And I am. That's the one thing God says in the Bible, right? I am. That's exactly what Buddhism is trying to say. It's like, well, that one phrase that God says in the Bible, I am, we all have that sentence. Because what are you? Well, I am. Are you human? I don't know. Human is a word that we gave ourselves as humans. Just like a monkey isn't a monkey. It's a being that exists, but it's only a monkey because we call it a monkey. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet, right? All these old adages and all these old phraseologies that we've created in life that explain nothing being nothing and everything being everything has been there since the dawn of fucking time.
Right. You're making it all sound like one giant philosophy, but
it is. That's the point. That's all this is. Religion gives you rules. And that's why they say Buddhism isn't a religion, because there's no rule there. There's no belief structure. It's just an understanding that everything is. That's it. No strings attached. And that's what I'm saying. It's nihilist. Nothing matters. Nothing. If everything just is, it's the same as saying that nothing exists. We are nothing and we are all. You understand? And it's a very complex and at the same time bare bones minimum way of thinking about the world, and it's very borderline sad because it's very hard for people to understand that. Well, why do anything if nothing matters, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, because we still are, and if you are, then you gotta do something. Might as well try and smile.
Yeah. Okay.
But a smile doesn't exist either because we just made that up too.
So, anyways,
So if we're making all these things up, what makes things? What makes something out of nothing? Well, God. So we are, and God is, and I am, and we are.
Okay. So, anyways,
This has been another episode of the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. No, just what do you got?
No, that's it. Like, we're out of time.
We're just about, but you had one more thing to say.
No, that I was gonna say. Okay, we got 3 minutes left, and I'm like,
well, yeah,
this is 30 seconds left. I'm like,
well,
we're out of time.
This is a Completely Inappropriate Podcast, everybody. I've been Anthony, along with Mr.
Frank.
And I don't know. If we keep doing this, I'm hoping we get back to this kind of conversation.
Okay.
Get off of the fucking current events. Hey,
get off of the
Frank,
memes a day.
Yeah, Frank doesn't let me quit doing this podcast because he seems to think that we have listeners. So if you are listening, we desperately need you to write in. Just comment on Instagram, comment on the YouTubes, comment on the podcast. Please, we need to know that this is worth doing. If just one of you, just one, is willing to say, hey, you guys are worth listening to, keep it going, we will do this again. But just know, I'm hoping to get back to the real conversations, the real nit and gritty of religion. And if we get into politics, that's fine. But I just can't do this fucking pop culture shit no more, Frank.
Okay.
Can't do it. All right. So no more your listicles bullshit from Marvel fucking websites.
Okay. I don't get on Marvel websites, but okay.
All right. This week's drama with Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson's nipple pops out. And the internet goes crazy. Fuck. Anyway, Frank, he comes from his mama and he likes pie. What do we tell the people, Frank?
Be excellent to each other.
You try to find your happy. Try to be better today than you were yesterday. And I hope we might see you again. Oh, and sorry I forgot to post last week's audio, but you get 2 this week. Well, you won't know that until you'll look forward to figure that out. Bye. Bye, Frank.
Bye.
Stop recording, Frank.